Hey guys, before we start, a quick shout out to Alpha Dog Nutrition for sponsoring this podcast. Alpha Dog products are now available at dusupply.com, and you can use code ALPHADOG15 at checkout for 15% off and a credit for free shipping to try it yourself. Now let's get you to your podcast.
Welcome back to Free Casting. This episode, we're going to be talking to Jarrod Fisher. We're going to be talking to Jarrod Nichols. We're going to be talking about some AI. We're going to be talking about some mules, lion hunting, hunting on the reservation. Just a little bit of everything like we always do. Turn up that volume and stay tuned. Tonight we got Jarrod Nichols. What's your outfit name?
Nichols Guiding Service.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And I got Jarrod Fisher back on because he has nothing else better to do.
My internet's always good.
Yeah. So I got two Jarrods on tonight. I didn't think about it when I was texting everybody. I tried to get Rowdy on the night because he's a character, but he has a job or something. I don't know. Firefighter. Tonight we're going to talk like we always talk, mules and hounds. And I think a couple weeks ago we got into talking about food and trash talking everybody. So
Yep.
All right, Mr. Nichols, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, how what you're doing now?
Yeah. We bear and lion hunts anymore. We did elk and stuff. I've been doing it about 30, I think this is 33 years. I was actually in my senior year of high school and started when I was 18, but I was still in school, did all the horned hunts and everything, and just it always fell back on my hounds. So that's kind of all we do right now. We do bear and lion hunts. Quit doing all the stuff mainly because the draw. It got so hard to get anybody drawn. You could put somebody in for years and years and years, and I just got tired of messing with the draw. So that's what we do. All our bear hunts take place on the Fort Apache Indian Reservation up here by Sholo.
Yep.
And lion hunts, man, from one end of the state to the other, including the reservation. Just depends on where we find out something we want to hunt. And we do a lot of stuff right here out of the ranch, which makes it pretty dang nice. It does shut down. They got these quotas nowadays, which, it's a different.
It shuts down when there's a lot of snow, and we got a little snow up there. So I've been watching it,
Yeah.
All the real lion hunters come out in the snow. So
All the heroes.
Yeah. Certain years, March is, man, I like hunting in March. It's always it's a good time of the year for the dogs to trail and everything. But these units that they got are so gigantic right now. Like, for instance, unit 22, 20, 23, 24B, 24A, they're all linked together.
Yeah.
What reason? And it shuts down a giant portion of the state.
Well, what's funny is in all those units, like the majority of lions are plucked out of all 7 units, they're plucked out of 2 or 3 of them. I don't like it. I do you think we should go to the each unit? You think?
Yeah, I do.
I don't think we should have done none of it, honestly, because I don't think we killed that many lions, period. But
yeah, if they're going to do it, I think it needs to be, very similar to the bear. It really does. The lions that we got around us where we've been hunting, lions we've kept track of for a long time. These lions aren't leaving and all of a sudden going from here to I-17. And hanging out clear over there by Cordis Junction. And that's what they're doing. They're shutting down this, when you got lions clear over there getting taken. It's just, I disagree with it, and that's pretty much it, but it really doesn't matter what I disagree with or don't. So I'm not on the guys doing the stuff.
Well, we don't put as much pressure as the antis do on our, on the great leaders that make the decisions. That's the problem. When they come out, I've said this before, every time they come out with something, in the fall. And what are we doing in the fall? We're not available in the fall like those yahoos that sit around and do nothing,
Yeah.
But
it's a different deal. Like I say, it's made it to where, we've had a lot of lions found in certain areas come March. And I mean, there's a lot of lions around right now. And we'll literally have to get up and hunt clear on the other side of the state because they shut down all of central Arizona. Whenever, like you said, most of the lions are taken out of a very small majority of the area. So, it's
and you guys are pretty selective on what you shoot. You guys just don't go out and blast everything.
No, we're extremely selective, and we very seldom do we shoot any females. It's mostly toms, and if they're having trouble in certain areas, that's just, it's going to stay like that, because we dang sure aren't going to shoot a bunch of females. I don't care how many or whatever they're killing, because it's going to shut the whole central part of the state down if you go to killing a bunch of females, and I just don't want to do that. So
and they don't have a female quota. It's it's just a line. There's one area, and that's kind of where I hunt, right here down off I-8 in Unit 40. I think they have a female quota, and that's it. It's just female determined. But there's not enough lions down here anyways. So yeah. But they got the bighorn sheep, and they got the Sonoran pronghorn down here. That's why they do it that way. But it should be a female quota. Yeah. Important stuff. Not the coos deer that ain't up as much as it used to be, or the
Yeah, exactly.
So what got you into hounds?
My dad had hounds since the day I was born. So I grew up around them my whole life, and most his dogs, I was probably 10 years old. Most his dogs, they didn't have tracking collars back then. If they did, they were just, on the verge of getting built. And his dogs all actually got killed out on the highway over there, just above Sunflower. They come out and happened to hit the highway. So he went about 5 years ahead, and it drove me nuts not having them. So when I was in high school, I got on the farm, and there was a bunch of coyote pups in a culvert, and I grabbed one, and I'll tell you what, throw that stinking coyote back in that culvert, and you can go get a hound pup. We can start over. So fast to put that stinking coyote back in that hound, or in that culvert. I had hounds in it. So that's what started it again. And since then, they've controlled my entire life.
And they do. And they keep you nice and broke, just like your mules. You guys do a lot with mules. What's funny is I knew all you guys. I used to work for MSIDD. And you guys probably know my aunt, Sherry. So your brother farms down there a lot, right? Still? Or is he down there?
Actually, me and him did. We had a pretty big farm down there for, quite a few years. And then all that construction started, and they tore out all the ditches, the wells, and then everything fell apart. And then they had a big giant farm sitting down there that no water.
Yeah.
That was kind of it for that. And then we still got a bunch of farm, ground in Gilbert right there.
Well, and everybody complained about that alfalfa, but back in the day, I think what was water, $30 an acre foot. And then if you had commercial, it was like $60, in that area. Now it's like, isn't it like the 60? It's up there.
It was expensive enough that I quit. We sold everything we had. I brought all my hay equipment up here to the ranch. I got 40 acres, and I just, I just bail our own. That's it. I bail our own stuff, and I got sick of it. You couldn't pay for the water as fast as you could sell the hay and try to collect money. It just wasn't worth it for us.
Well, between water and diesel.
Man.
Yeah. So, yep.
Yeah, it got pretty expensive. I kept seeing everybody pull in. I remember the day of $8 hay and $2 diesel.
Oh, yeah.
So do we.
$300 a squeeze, man. I used to buy it from old Larry Hart down here in Maricopa. So now it's $1,000, So
and everybody knows, everybody that deals with hay, the fertilizer companies, the water companies, everybody right on down the line knows exactly when the price of hay goes up. You go to buy anything, your twine, everything doubles immediately.
Oh, he froze up on us.
Yeah.
Jarrod froze up on us. I guess we have to go to Jarrod too. You're our backup.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Jarrod. Oh, there you go. You're coming back, Jarrod. I think you're glitching back. I don't think
there you are.
Yep.
Can you hear us, or you still?
Everybody there?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're just glitchy. I think the audio will work though.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what mine was doing, and I think, and you watch in a month, it'll be working perfect again. So, well, Jarrod Fisher, he hunts down there over in the 36s and all that Tucson stuff.
Yeah.
So he knows what dry ground's about.
That's some good country down there.
It's fun. It is fun down here.
You hunting clear down on the border there, right along the fence, or?
I stay out of 36B right along the fence just because we didn't get shot at, but they got into it on the other side of the border about a couple 100 yards off, and I was like, I'm out of here. That was last year.
Bullets whizzing.
Yeah, that's about enough for that.
Yeah, they shot off about 3 times of what I was carrying in my backpack in about half a second. So,
oh man,
I got out.
We used to hunt that quite a bit down there. It was, it was great. There was a lot of lions in that country, but it started getting to where we'd ride out in the mornings from camp, 4 mules and 6, 8 dogs, and you'd ride that same exact loop again the next morning, and you could never tell there was a mule, a dog, anything, because all the foot traffic that had come through on them same trails.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And it was just enough for me. So we finally quit, which was a shame because, man, it's some neat country. It's really good stuff.
In the
It is
90s,
gorgeous down there.
Yeah,
yeah,
it is.
in the 90s, the deer hunting was phenomenal. But then they blew out a bunch of tags down there, like 1,000 tags and 36C and all those, and really just kind of. But there wasn't a time you probably couldn't make a loop and not pick up a track.
Yeah, it was really neat. Like I said, and then just got worse and worse and worse. And when they started coming through our camps in the middle of the night, and we had hunters down there, and I said,
this ain't worth it.
It's not worth it. There's too much of the state to hunt with guys. We would do it, when we were just ourselves, go down there and hunt, but it just got to where we didn't want to take, folks down there to end up having a wreck. So we quit. But man, it's a neat country.
Oh man, it is neat, and there's a lot of lions.
Well, let's talk about that reservation. Everybody always asks about the reservation, hunting that reservation. Always. Every time we get Res Hounds guy on here, dang it, what's his name? Always forget it. Starts with C. But he
Carl or Calvin.
Calvin, there you go.
Oh yeah. He's a Navajo, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He does that Res Hounds up there.
Oh yeah.
What is it? What is it to hunt on that res? You take people out and
it's
a little about that.
It's a neat deal. I started off, it was probably 94. Actually, we started they had a little project on San Carlos, 93 or 94. And it was a lion project. They were having a lot of problems with their cattle. So we did that for about 5 years on San Carlos, and man, there were a lot of lions, big lions. All they did was eat beef. It was neat out hunting lions, kind of in antelope country. You'd see a little rim rock or boulder pile, and that's where they were. And that lasted about 5 years. And then we ended up getting on the White Mountains up here in 2009, I think is when it was. And, everybody's got their own area. It's a neat deal. And, you can be extremely selective. The bears up there they're big. There's a lot of really big bears. And I think the main deal is the genetics. If you got a sow that comes into heat, she's not getting bred by the only 200-pound boar that's all he's ever going to be. If she's in heat, she's got a massive boar with her. And that the genetics have just kind of passed on down. So even your sows are actually pretty dang good size. And we've been up there now for a lot of years, got our own area, and it's a neat place. Besides seeing all them gigantic bulls that they got, you don't ever see no people.
It's the food. It's the food source up there. They got a lot of food up there.
They do.
A lot of food.
Yeah, pretty much everything they need. You got that black timber, and within a few miles, they can be down in the desert from one extreme to the next. So it's a neat place. I don't know how else to put it besides it's really cool. The first year we got up there, it's kind of one of them deals. You're like, man, are we really here? Even though we'd already been on San Carlos doing them lion projects for all them years, all we were doing was lion. On Port Apache, we were actually doing the bear. And them bears, when we got there, I don't think had been hunted for 3 years previously from the last person that was in that area. So a lot of 20-inch boars, pretty regular up there, and still are to this day. And kind of same thing. We're pretty selective, like we are here. We, if you go in, we can hunt from, April 1st all the way through till, the October 1st, and then we start hunting again October 10th, I believe it is. We actually skip September because they're trophy bull hunts. Yeah. And then we can hunt again, but we're still pretty dang selective to make sure the next group of people next year always have big old bears, and they do.
Do they shut down the hound usage during that elk season, or you guys just decide to?
No, they shut it down. We're during their trophy bull hunts, everything needs to be moved out. That way, we're not in the way, especially they got all these guys been waiting a long time to come in. So, which is great. It's about perfect timing. We're usually doing our own stuff that time of year anyway. And then we can come back on about October 10th And on the October hunt, we can hunt pretty much, most of the reservation. So it's a neat deal.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
So do you guys just use hounds, or you guys do a little baiting and everything down there?
We do both. We set out 10 baits, what you can have out. We don't run the hounds off the baits, mainly because, man, you got so many different bears coming into those baits.
That was my next question. I've heard that before. Everybody says, why don't you just rig those baits? Well, what are you going to rig? 20 bears coming out of it?
Yep.
Pick one.
Dog is right. Every dog's going the right way on the correct bear track, but we've literally pulled up on those baits, seen a bear we want to take, let the dogs out, and caught several bears, and none of them were the bear we saw run off the bait. So
it was all the other ones that were fat laying in the shade.
That was it. So other than that, we try to, when we're running the dogs, we dang sure try to avoid the baits. It just turns into a train wreck usually when you get close, because you got so many tracks coming in and coming out, kind of like a kill.
Yeah.
If you're on a kill that's been there for 2 or 3 days, pretty soon you're just throwing big old loops in and out. So we try to avoid them with the hounds. So.
And hope you don't have a dog that likes coyotes.
Yeah, they better not. If they do, they're going to get in trouble. We try to avoid that too.
Got to hit the love button, love button. So what? So you also do lions on the res. Do you do snow and dry ground? I know you do dry ground.
Yeah, very little snow. Every now and then, like last year, a couple times it just happened to snow way, way low. I'm just not one of them them people that like snow. No, it's better. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. It's more productive. It is. You know what you're on. You know when it was there. I just don't enjoy doing it, and I never have. I think last year we caught 3 lions in the snow, and because it snowed right here at the house, and then everything
real low.
Yeah, everything else was in the dirt, and that's just kind of how I prefer it. I'll usually hunt one day in the snow or 2, and I got to hand it to everybody that likes to get out there and freeze and get after it. I just
especially
don't.
That 2-foot snow, man. You're chaining up. It's just a chore. It's good. Like I have people always say, I want to go lion hunting. I said, well, you want to go hunting? I've said this 100 times. Or do you want to go killing? If you want to go killing, let's go find snow and you can go do some killing. But if you want to do some hunting, go in the dry ground desert and just hunt it.
I'll tell you what, some of the toughest days I've had though have been, let's go run up and hunt the snow real quick. And then I spend half the day digging myself out, shoveling. I thought, I'm going to leave this to the professionals. It's not for me. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not for me. I've been raised in the desert and that's just what I enjoy.
It's definitely a good pup trainer. I tell you, if you want to get some pups under some game, and I like that little tiny, little 1-inch, 2-inch snow that you have about 4 hours to hunt it before it goes into not snow. And even when it snows down by you, it don't last long.
I don't want it to get my boot wet. If it's any deeper than that, I'm going back to the house. Usually.
You don't call it. Well, I just seen that today. Someone called it cheater dust.
My problem is I'm not one of them guys that can run all night and look at snow and stuff. And some guys can, and man, like I said, it's extremely productive. It's really good, and I hand it to everybody that wants to get after it. It's just I don't want to get up and start running roads all night long and wait till the morning. It's just not how I like to hunt. That's all.
It's definitely a good beginner houndsman. Get your dogs under some game. Know what they're chasing. I think that's real important. Know what you're chasing. At least when you find a track, you put that dog down. It's opening up. He's like, okay, he's at least started the track right. Is he going to finish it right? Who knows?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a great way to do it. Great way to know what you're doing, where you're going, and what you're on.
So what? Your dogs? What are you running? You probably have your Jarrod Nichols line by now, but what'd you start off with?
I started off once my dad lost his dogs. He had a couple hounds that went back to the Lee brothers when I was a little kid. And after he ended up losing them, like I say, it made him so sick, he didn't want to get back into it for a while. He was pretty sick over it. And then I got him, and I got some dogs from a guy named Tony Weiss. And they went back to supposedly some, White Cloud stuff and some Bam Bam stuff years and years ago.
Bam Bam. Mm-hmm.
And, I had 3 walkers that I got when I was 14, 15 years old. And to this day, those dogs are probably still some of the best dogs I've ever had in my life. And the male, I had him collected. My dad talked me into it. He said, I'm going to tell you right now, you need to get that dog collected.
Save it.
I didn't want to, and I still have 6 breedings from him right now.
Wow.
And
were those the Bam Bams?
Yeah, that's what he was out of. Yep. And right now, my best dog in the kennels is 5 years old, and he's out of a male that's been dead for 20 years. And
Science is amazing.
Absolutely amazing that it worked.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You know, when I first started out, a guy gave me a bunch of hounds, and he had the Bam Bam walkers. He had that line. And I didn't really know nothing about it back then. You know, I was just running around with them. Then I kind of did a thing where I got a divorce and I got rid of some hounds, and I got out of it for the 5 years, you know, back in the 90s. I didn't get back in it till like 2005, but if I would have kept that line of dogs, I'd be probably 120% further than I could be right now, just with that line of dogs. But that divorce and that life will, you know, it'll get you.
Oh, you there?
Oh yeah, you're there.
Oh, okay. This thing keeps blinking out.
You froze, but at least you didn't freeze up on a stupid face.
Oh, perfect.
So
where do you live down there? Do you live in Tucson or?
No, I'm down in 3 Points.
3 Points. Okay.
Yeah.
You're pretty.
I actually what was that?
Are you pretty close to them reservations that are down there?
Yeah. Yep. I'm butted up right against the Cerritos.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It's been a long time since I've been there. That's a heck of a good mountain range too, right there.
It is.
Cerritos?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. That's just pretty country too. That's so pretty country.
Yeah, you get all them
country.
painted bluffs and different things in there. It's neat.
And it's hard country though. I tell you, you get up in there, it's hard country.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
If you get on a line and she doesn't want to be caught or he doesn't want to be caught, you probably won't catch him. He'll just take off and get going through them bluffs, and
I like them.
They want to run, they'll run you all day. Yep.
They'll train some puppies for dang sure.
Oh, make them work.
I have some pups out of your stuff.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Good.
You know Caleb.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he had a litter. Shoot, this was probably 2 years ago, year and a half ago. I picked up a couple pups from him.
Oh, good.
And trailing that little blue tick female. They're Walker blue tick crosses, but she's a little speckled blue tick. Man, she's a trailing son of a gun.
Yeah.
She was trailing lions at 8 months, rubbing her nose red.
That's pretty much what we went to with everything on these. You know, we had all the original Walkers. Man, they're great dogs, but had the typical problems, you know, the feet, things like that. So we had some blue tick some really nice dogs, and we crossed, and ever since then we've pretty much stayed with that. We've crossed it up. It's blue tick Walker cross, and just trying to get the best of everything. You know, you get the feet, the nose, the drive, the tree, the push, and it stuck with it pretty dang good. So Caleb's supposed to be over here. We got a guy coming in. He's supposed to come in tomorrow, but we're pushing it back a day. This storm coming in, but all these elk hunts are starting. So, and I found out he's got a daughter has an elk tag, so he ain't gonna make it over for a few days.
Oh, no,
yeah, them are good for sure. That he's got that cross.
Yeah, they turned out phenomenal.
So you run a little bit of everything though, right? As far as Walker, and you just got a bunch of crosses.
You know, we got a lot of high tans in our dogs, and then like Jarrod was saying, a lot of our stuff is kind of that speckled up until they're blue tick Walker crosses. You know, in a lot of our dogs, they either come out that way. We don't have any red anymore. Used to have a lot of solid red dogs, and I started keeping all the high tans. I just liked them. They were just.
It's nice when you can get the color you like with the dog you want. Everybody has a color preference. I hate red bones. I'm not going to lie. And I got a red bone. I was going to ask you guys, you ever ran any red bones, but their feet. I hadn't had a red bone. I have a red bone right now. Andy Salazar. Did you know him and Tim?
You know, I don't. I knew of them, but I don't know them personally.
All of my dogs are out of him. My first 2 dogs in 2005 were both from his line. So, some of his old stuff, some of his new stuff. His nephew, Chino.
Yeah.
He said there was only one more other guy over there that had the old stuff over in Globe somewhere. I don't know. But I have that line, and I love that line. And I I do had a red bone in there. And I'm going to tell you, that dog can run 250 miles and the next day run another. He gets more muscle sore than he does foot sore.
Yeah.
Beautiful feet on him. And they're not even pretty, but the pads are extremely, extremely tough.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't like the red bone. Red bone's always aggressive. He's pretty good. His dad's a real docile dog. So he's kind of took his dad's stuff, but
yeah. I've never had much red bones, like I say, just because I started with those dogs in high school, and I crossed them, and the dogs I crossed them up with were Larry Hendricks dogs, Steve Smith dogs. It was that line. I crossed their stuff with my walkers, and the cross just worked. And so I've tried to stay with that the best you can. Of course, sometimes you get real close, and you got to have some outsource, so we every now and then we're looking for a real good outsource, but that was our first cross. It was with those walkers I had and some dogs that come from Larry, Steve, them exact dogs. And it just worked. Put the feet on them, put the nose on them, and everything else, just kind of put them together. So, but I think you dang sure got to cross it out every now and then, or it gets pretty close.
Well, that's, we just talked about that last week, I believe. Well, not last week before, last week's Thanksgiving, but about how close you cross your dogs.
Yeah.
Like, what do you consider too close? A lot of people outsource it and then they'll come back in, and people will do that.
Like I said, for the most part, I don't sell hardly any dogs ever. So we might have one litter a year. So it's generally not a problem, with getting it real close. And we'll always go back to that stuff we have collected if we get too close.
Oh,
and
gotcha. that
seems to save us. That way it's not too much, father-daughter type stuff going on. We can go back to, great-granddaughter to great-grandpa that's been dead for 25 years.
Yeah.
And it seems to help.
And you said you had 6 more breedings on that?
I got 6 more, but it's
that don't seem like enough right now, does it?
No, it's worrying me because actually that company just retired and they shipped everything to California now. So now I got to deal with a company out of California as of about 6 months ago, which is really concerning.
It's almost like you want to use it all up now and try to get something out before they lose it or
something.
Yeah. 6 is nothing. How much did you have? And power outage.
Yeah, exactly.
Watch everything come unthawed.
Yep, exactly.
Do you have enough? Do you have a good enough line you could collect out of what you have now?
Yeah, because right now, out of that dog, like I say, he was the best dog I've ever had, or personally that I had ever hunted with. And I've got 2 direct sons, and actually Caleb has a direct son and a direct daughter out of him. So we keep those pretty close to us. So if we need to breed, we usually go back to those 4. That way I don't got to mess with. It's quite the process whenever you got to deal with, going to the clinic and
well, how does that work?
And especially now that's in California, but we do got, like say, 4 directs out of him. And so we go back to that, and it makes it a little bit easier as long as that'll last.
What's that process? We don't ever talk about AI here.
They always want to do, you come in, you can get progesterone shots in them, and they want to make sure that everything's right on target. You keep bringing them in and getting your shots till their numbers meet. Personally, I think the best way to do it is if you got a female that you're wanting to breed, keep her next to a male. And the second she's willing to accept a male,
take her in.
She's ready. You don't got to do all them progesterone deals, all that crap that's extra money. As second she'll go ahead and accept a male, it's time. She's ready, instead of doing the other stuff, which just costs a lot of extra money. And in the end, you just could have waited, and she'll show you when she's ready, and then take her in and have it done. Now, I always did surgical, which was a little bit more expensive. It's about $1,000 to have it surgically done. But the last 2 litters we had, I think 10 in one and 12 in the other, as compared to, just randomly hoping something worked.
So surgical, what are you talking about surgical? Like they cut them open and actually
inject it right into the eggs.
And then the other way is basically turkey baster them up.
Exactly. Yep. You just hope for the best. So I figured after that many years and that much money, what's a few extra $100 at the end, to get a full litter. So it's worth it doing the surgical if you can.
Yeah. Especially since you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Exactly. Especially when you only have 6 left, you have to be pretty meticulous about when, where, and how, and
that's
why.
it. making me a little nervous since they shipped them to California. They may come out looking like a
Oh.
golden retriever, a Saint Bernard, or a poodle.
come out looking like a poodle. Well, you can snow hunt
Yeah.
then, I guess. Let's talk about your mules. If you can hear me. Froze up again. He's froze up again.
Yeah.
There
Where's
you go.
He's smiling.
There he is. Yeah. Let's talk about your mules. I know Max. I bumped into him in Circle K last year. He does a lot of mule work. You know what it is? It's prime time where everybody's on the internet.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
Mac,
I got you now.
Yep. Let's talk about your mules.
Man, we got a bunch of them. If you know anybody that needs one,
How'd you do
How
on
else-
that? You took a bunch up to that sale up in was it Utah, Colorado? Oh, you'll come back. You'll come back.
Yeah.
This is the first time that it's not my internet glitching up. Everybody else's
No,
internet glitching
right?
up.
I guarantee you, it's mine. This thing's always screwing up. Like you said, about this time of night too, it gets kind of rough. So
Yep.
we got a lot of mules. We got about 20, 25 head, I think, out here
Oh,
right now.
jeez.
Yeah, my son Max, he kind of travels besides line hunting with me every day. He's constantly scouring the country trying to find good mules,
Yeah.
and bringing them back. So we got a lot of mules here right now.
You just hit that sale here recently. Where was that? Colorado or Utah?
Montana, I think
Was it
it's right on the border, right there. Where's that sale? Yeah, it's a Cody, Wyoming sales. It's Jake Clark is what it is.
Yes.
And
You guys
it's
do
a
any good
sale.
on that?
Yeah, we did. We took 3 mules up there, and man, the people that bought the 3 mules from us have been sending us letters and videos, riding them on the ocean and on the beach, and
Mhm.
so they all enjoyed them anyway. So that's always good when you get people that buy them from you and sending back all kind of positive information on them, and they really enjoyed it. So we're going to go again this year. We got 4 mules going to it this year, and we'll see how it goes. You just never know,
That old ocean and beach and all that stuff is probably a cakewalk for those mules after being over where you live.
Yeah,
They're
were
going to
pretty-
get fat and lazy.
they were pretty happy to be over on the beach.
Oh, yeah. Not having to climb 1,000-foot descent. So you got a bunch of mules for sale then right now.
We do. We got quite a few right now. We switch through them during the days. We'll ride like today. We took a group of 4 out and ride them all day. And then, we don't sell tons of them. We just want to make sure they're good mules. I've been on the other end of that, trying to buy mules from people, and I've got some bad ones. Run me through fences and jump ditches and through orchards. And there's mule that's going to do that if we can prevent it. Now, sometimes you get some people that, can cause their own issues, but
Yeah.
that's our main deal. So we just sell them. If we got good enough mules to move, we'll sell them.
I've talked to a few guys that actually got rid of their mules because everybody just wants to ride them buggies now.
Yeah.
Side by sides. They don't even want to get on a mule. And I tell you what, I got my mule for free. A guy gave me a mule, and I knew it was going to be a problem mule, but it actually turned out good. So I wasn't I got lucky. Jarrod needs a mule. He just walks everywhere.
That's what I was going to ask you down there. What are you doing? Are you riding buggies or just walking all that big stuff down there in southern Arizona, or what are you doing?
I think he froze up on us.
It looked like it.
Yeah. He'll be back. He'll be back.
Yeah.
Tell you what,
The
here
buggies
you go.
are hard to beat. Everybody's driving them. They've made them so darn nice, and there's so many roads. It's
Oh, yeah.
they've sure made it nice, but same thing. At the end of the day, I just, I enjoy riding our mules. That's just kind of part of it for me.
Yeah.
And not to say you can't get in a buggy, drag some roads, find tracks, and catch lions, because my God, you can. But I just, especially since we got this many stinking mules standing around, we got to figure out something to do with them.
Yeah, you can't just let them stand. There's a question for you. What's the price of a good mule in Arizona? Good mule. Let's talk about what a good mule is first, because the whole rumor is there's good mules and there's bad mules. There's no in between mules.
A good mule, you load him in your trailer, you go hunt for the day, and you don't die.
That's a good mule.
You come back home. You're good.
Whether you're limping or not, you're coming back home.
You're coming back home. Right now, pretty average price for a real nice mule is, between 6,000 and 8,000. Even back east right now, it's darn hard to get a real nice mule for much under $6,000, and then you got to get them out here.
Yep.
It's become quite the deal for these people. Just want to do trail rides, and not necessarily hunting off them. They're just become a big thing. So
well,
they're expensive.
You know what's the a mule will protect itself, a horse won't.
Yeah, you get a mule. If you get a mule that's willing to hurt itself, get rid of him right now, because he's damn sure going to hurt you. He don't care. Most mules won't hurt themselves. They can see their back feet. We've had some really good horses. Our biggest deal with horses, and we still got good horses. When we load up to go on a 6-7 day hunt, after 2 or 3 days in some of these, just giant country, really getting after it about 2 or 3 days, it's real hard on them horses. I mean, it's hard. Horse is going to give it 150% getting to the top of the hill.
God dang it.
Right.
Just wait around. There you go. You're back.
Yeah.
We heard 150% to the top of a hill.
Yeah. Well, a horse will give it everything plus 50% extra. He's going to give everything he has to get where he's going. And that's really good for a couple days. But if you're on a 7, 8, 9 day hunt, like we were doing a lot, we had to have that animal make it day after day after day. And the mule's going to use exactly what he needs to get to the top of a hill. And he'll do it today, tomorrow, the next day. You can ride him 5-6 days in a row. 5 days in a row on some of this stuff we're hunting on a really good.
He gets into a good story.
I enjoy riding him.
Yep.
But
we was talking about you, Jarrod, about he asked how you got around. I told him you walked.
Yeah, I do have a mule saddle and a horse trailer, but my horse trailer's in Nevada.
No mule. Let's wait for Jarrod.
No mule. I even got corrals and everything. I was gonna have a mule.
And I remember
I do have a side by side, but I
there
never
he is.
used the thing.
So Jarrod said he has a mule saddle. He has the corrals. He has every horse trailer. He just don't got a mule. But he does have a side by side. He don't even use that.
Well, by God, I know where you can come look at some mules.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You'd even let him ride him around.
I guarantee.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to.
Half of those you can look. I think Max has an Instagram and he puts a lot of that mule stuff on there.
I never use it.
Well, Jarrod's a walker. He likes to walk.
What was
Yeah. I don't mind walking, but I'm not getting any younger. So if something can carry me, I'm all happy with it.
Jarrod froze up again. Yeah, I'm 48 and I made it to this age. Last year I fell, hit my knee. My right knee hurts every once in a while, but I went this long without having no knee problems. And now that my right knee kind of hurts, I think I overcompensated my left knee and it's starting to hurt. I don't like that.
No, when that starts to happen, I'm pretty happy to climb on a saddle and let them do it for me.
Absolutely.
Yep. I mean, I'm not against trying to prove anything. We get out there. I don't got to ride them across stuff that's ignorant. If I got to get off and lead or something like that, I'm okay with it.
Yep.
There again, you gotta make it there and you gotta make it back.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Do you use those mules on the reservation? Oh, sorry, Jarrod.
Oh, you're good. Who's going?
What was that?
Do you use those mules on the reservation?
Not for bear hunting. When we're line hunting, we do.
Yeah,
we'll take them up. The only thing we got to watch up there is, the weather. It gets real boggy. That country gets real boggy. So when it does, my favorite time to hunt up there is March, April. We can ride most of that country, but most of the winter time it's frozen and snowy. So if you're going to hunt it, you're hunting out of a truck most all the time. If you're riding, it's late spring or, November, like right now, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Especially this year.
Yeah.
This year is it warm down there, Jarrod?
Yeah, we're in the 60s right now. I'm outside in a t-shirt.
I know it's been warm up here.
There it is.
Yeah.
So it's been warm down there though, hadn't it, Jarrod?
We were 90 degrees in the beginning of November.
Yeah.
They say it's supposed to be a wet winter.
3 weeks ago, it was pretty dang warm, and then all of a
It
sudden,
was.
It's been in here at the house. We're where the house is right here, though. We're kind of in a big basin, so it gets pretty cold. We wake up every morning, it's in the high 20s, right around freezing. About every day. So,
and you're at what, 4,000 feet? Are you that
4,000 feet?
Yep.
Yeah, we're pretty close to whatever it says Payson's doing for temperature wise. You can almost look at that, and that's just about exactly what we are. We're usually colder in the winter, though. It seems like, or at least I do.
That desert's just cold in the winter.
It is.
So how have you been doing on lions this year? God, cut out. Oh, there he is.
Are you there?
How'd you do on lions this year so far?
This past year was this season was pretty good. We finished all the deer hunts. We ended up catching this past season. We caught 3 in the snow. We caught 21 in the dirt. And right now I'm glad these deer hunts and everything are done. We're just getting fired up. The elk hunts are kicking off, but I don't do the elk hunts no more. So we like to say we got our first lion hunter coming in for this next go around for the season, starting here in 2 days. And then we'll go clear through till the end of April.
Well, you had a bunch of deer hunts yourself, right?
Yeah,
your own tags.
We usually do that in October. We can do the bear hunts, but man, we got to try to enjoy some of this stuff for ourselves occasionally. Yep. So we make sure and either do the late October hunt or the 1st of November. We'll go ahead and do that. Me and the boys, and then after that, it's back to hunting the dogs.
Back to work.
Yeah, once we get with the deer hunts.
I got skunked over there in Globe. I was on the other side over by Seneca Lake kind of area.
Oh, yeah.
Over that way. I hunt that a lot. Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
That's horrible over there. That's just big country and there's no roads. And I lost a dog down there this year. So.
Oh, man.
Yep.
I haven't been there in a long time in that stuff. Like I say, we used to hunt straight across the street, where you come out of the canyon right there on St. Paul. We hunted that a lot. But 24A, haven't hunted it in a long time.
Yeah. I love hunting it. It's tough country.
Yeah, it is. It's really big. You get close to that canyon, it's extremely big.
Oh, and it's nothing but cliffs. And they just them barren lines run straight towards that river every time. Straight towards it.
Make sure and keep your rappelling gear in your backpack for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we got skunked. Me and my son went over there and we didn't want to go to the north. We were trying to head south, and then I think we jumped a bear, and they chased the bear over into the mines over there off that private property, and half our dogs went over to the bluffs. It was just horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. Yep. Didn't want to go that way, so they went that way,
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, exactly. How about you, Jarrod? The other Jarrod too. You been out at all? Thanksgiving, right?
Thanksgiving, I didn't get to go out at all. I had family in town from South Dakota. So my 5-year-old nephew and 7-year-old nephew, kind of hard to take them out hunting dogs because I'm on foot, so they ain't going to keep up and do much. So kind of laid out for Thanksgiving. And then the hunt before, or the week before, my wife had her coos deer hunt, and she didn't tag out. She passed up on 4 different bucks. She wanted something over 100 inches, and I couldn't get her close enough. So that's what happens when you spoil them.
Yeah. Now you don't have nothing to grill.
Yeah. Freaking, I'm sitting there with cell phone service on top of the mountain, and I'm just looking, and the people are glassing up lions asking for a lion hunter an hour away from me.
It's hard to say no.
I'm like, you need to shoot that forked horn because I want to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I took my dogs over there, just had them in camp just in case I found a track or spotted one.
Yeah.
I had that exact same discussion with my cousin that came in from Indiana. He had a cougar. I'm like, you need to shoot something pretty damn quick. I'm starting to get itchy.
Yep. Quick. They'd have a lot funner chasing lions than they would them deer.
Yeah.
I did find a tom on her hunt, but he was scratching out over by a water tank. Went over there not last weekend, but this weekend.
Yeah.
We got on him scratching, and he started traveling. My buddy, he's never gone on a lion hunt with me before, and he looked at me. He's like, "How far are we from the truck?" And I'm like, 4.5 miles away the crow flies. Like, we're gonna get back at dark. Still never caught that.
He didn't like that.
No.
He just kept going.
We still never caught that. We never caught that. We never even got him jumped. We just kept going and just seeing scratch after scratch. And it's just like, he's got to hold up eventually. That's what I kept telling myself until it got 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm like, we got like a 6-hour hike back.
Yeah.
Them male lions, man, when they want to go somewhere and they decide they're going, they go.
They go. And he didn't go left or right. It was just straight line up and down. Hit a ridge, he'd lay a scratch down, hit the bottom of a canyon, he'd lay a scratch down, just enough to keep the dogs going. And it's just like, son of a gun. I kept telling myself, I'm like, next ridge, next rock crop, and we're going to jump him. Never happened.
Yeah, he had a plan, didn't he?
He had a plan. My ex-wife sent me a picture in her location one time. She was on an elk hunt. The next day I went over there and found the track. Said he probably has a kill in there because they were chasing elk. I went in this wilderness area, nothing. Went and hit another road. I mean, you could take on the map and draw a straight line and hit each road, and you'd find his track again. And he went all the way back to reservation. I was in Unit 1, and he went all the way back to that reservation. He just beelined all the way. Didn't make one turn. You could draw a line on that map, go to the road, and literally find that track again.
Yeah, he had it in his mind where he needed to get.
He had a female he needed to visit.
Yeah, so. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I know you got a good story, Jarrod.
I don't know. Depends on what kind of story you want to hear.
Hey, the worse the better. You can even lie about it.
I don't know. It's man, they kind of all sound the same. Loading mules, dogs, spend all day out there, come back, wore out, go to bed.
Gotta have a good
thing the next day.
Gotta have one of them good lying stories, one that sticks out in your mind. Everybody has that story.
I'm thinking. There's quite a few different ones.
So many of them after 30, 40 years.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's
bear story, lion stories.
Yeah. I'll tell you something that does happen is, and this doesn't look good on my part, but we were on San Carlos, had a lion. Lion was killing full-grown cows and eating just little portions. We trailed this lion for several days. Great big Tom. We ended up killing him, but it was quite the process. And it had these guys in from Florida. And we trailed into a box canyon. And this is something I could not explain to anybody. And there was no reason for me to even try. We trailed this sucker for 2 days, trailed up to where he had, this is probably a year-old heifer that he had buried up. Trailed right up to a little set of rocks in a boxed-in canyon. The lion stood up, ran right back through me, the hunter, the mules, the dogs, and that was it.
Said bye.
Never another bark, never another noise, never another nothing. And, I've tried to explain that to people over the years that, and there was no reason to explain it. It just didn't work out. But everybody's always asked me, on different deals with lions. I think they can shut their scent off or not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I think it's adrenaline, something along those lines. If you get a lion a lot of times like that, when they get nervous or right before they cross a road, they're hard to trail. A lot of times you trail all day long on an old track and get right to 200 yards before he's bedded up. All of a sudden you can't trail very good. Right before they make a kill, a lot of times it gets real hard to trail. Where they've crossed a highway, a big dirt road, or better yet, put a lion in a tree, hold your dogs back for 15, 20 minutes, jump him. You're going to be back to cold trailing in no time on that track that's not very old compared to something you've been trailing that may be 8-10 hours old from the same line. I don't think they can shut it off.
I tense up maybe and their pores shut down, or
I think it's something to do, like say with and I don't know that it's the adrenaline, but I think it's something to do with the adrenaline factor, because it always comes along those lines, when they have something strenuous going on.
Mm-hmm. God, another story ruined.
Dude, it makes 100% sense,
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I've always seen. A lot of times you'll see where a lion's crossed a road and it may take you 75, 80 yards, and also you can't trail him for crap. All of a sudden you can trail him where you jump a lion and you make a lose on that jump track, a lion that's a little bit.
Every time he gets into a good story, the internet fails.
I know. It's like God doesn't want us to know his secrets.
Maybe he's faking it. Watch and see if he blinks.
Yep.
We'll have to wait for him to come back. Internet, $120. That Starlink is
there you go.
There you are. That Starlink is $120 a month. You would think they'd have it figured out by now.
Oh man, I'm telling you. It worked great when we first got it.
Mine did too.
And then
same thing yours did.
Worse and worse as the longer we've had it.
It did, and then all of a sudden, boom. I'm like high speeds. Like even here, my mom has it here, and it used to glitch out just like yours is doing real bad. And I'm trying to host the show, horrible.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this last month, it's been perfect. So hopefully you'll get upgraded or whatever. You just gotta call them too. You can call and complain, and And then have you unplugged yours and all that stuff? Reset it?
We haven't unplugged it, but everything I do here at the house we don't have regular electricity. Everything's on solar. So it cuts out all the time. Run out of juice. We're always out of juice. It's always shutting off.
Yep. Well, shoot, Jarrod, we appreciate you coming on, and I told you, an hour goes by quick.
It did. Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we'll get you on again. We'll get Max on, talk about some mules. We didn't really get into mules too much. He's kind of your mule guy, huh?
Absolutely. Yep.
He's got
I don't get hurt, so he's always making sure we got good.
You know what? When I first got my mule, the guy gave him to me, and he says, "Oh, this mule," and his son's in the background doing this. I'm like, okay. So I took it home, and I told my son, "Oh man, this mule rides real good." And he jumped on it, rode around, and he goes, "Yeah, it rides good." I'm like, "Well, I know now he does." You know.
Yeah.
My dad gave me an old BLM Mustang, and I told my son, "Go ride this horse. This horse is fabulous." And he gets on that old horse and he rides it around, and he comes back to me and goes, "You even had a saddle on this horse?" I said, "No, not yet, but I know now I can." So, they heal a lot faster than I do, man. You know?
Yeah. I guarantee if I got something I need tested out, he's happy to jump on it. He's a little bit more rubber bone than I am. I ricochet off the box. I don't heal quite. So
how to get hold of Nichols? How can they get hold of you? I can throw it up there.
You know, probably the best way, you can Instagram, it's Nichols Guiding, or Facebook, it's just Jarrod Nichols.
All righty.
You can look up pretty much everything.
Yep. It's just Nichols. You're under Nichols Guiding. You type in Nichols Guiding. You guys probably got a website or no?
You know, we do got a website. I haven't used it, honestly.
Don't do much. Yeah. Everybody uses social media. You look at websites and they're outdated anymore.
Yeah. Most are, at least a couple of years old on it. So Instagram or Facebook, way you can go to it. Facebook is Jarrod Nichols, but on Instagram, it's Nichols Guiding Service. So
there you go. Nichols Guiding Service. Just look up Nichols Guiding Service. You'll find them.
All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Till next time, Jarrod.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Right.
Yep, later.
Well, Jarrod, what have you been up to?
Nothing.
Working?
Been going stir crazy the past 2 weeks. Well, naturally, no, I take a shit.
Yeah.
You there?
That's back. You're back now. Yeah, you're back now. I heard part of it. Yeah, I've had my mules and dogs down here for 2 weeks.
You there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh.
Gotta put your arm up in the air. That one time you sat out in your truck, you had real good service. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you are. This week I finally get to go out for 3 days. I went over, Brian Thomas up north in Wickiup. Mm-hmm. Went and picked up 2 black and tan pups from him Saturday.
Yeah, I seen that. Looked like your wife sure loves them.
Oh, man. I had to haul a couple down here for a buddy of his and sent a picture of 4 in the truck, and she sent me a text back. She said, "You said you're only getting 2." But I didn't tell her until I got home.
I thought you was trying to get rid of dogs. Weren't you trying to get me that dog?
I was trying to get you that dude dog. That's out of Nichols.
Mm-hmm.
But you screwed it up.
You did. You called me and said no.
No.
The dog worked out. But now you got 2 more dogs, so you got to get rid of a dog.
Yeah, shoot. We got on that Tom because usually, like, he's a year and a half old and he wasn't doing. He'd tree real good. Yeah. But the trailing, man, he wouldn't do nothing with it. He'd just hang out with me and we kind of putz along together. And the other day, he finally they hit that Tom scratch and he's like, "All right, I can do this," and started burning his nose up. And I'm like, "All right, sounds good." Nice. He started opening and he started doing real good. Yep. And finally, he's not a late bloomer. I mean, they were born, they're not even 2, they were born in March. I've heard dogs that made it till 3-4 years old, and all of a sudden, I think I was Warner Glenn. I swear I watched a thing where he said, "Don't get rid of a dog till they're 4. If they don't work by 4, then you can." Somebody said that. I think it was Warner. His sister, 6 months old, dude. Just trailing machine. She's probably one of my best trail dogs right now. If I can keep her mouth, she barks. She opens a little bit too much for me. I like them like Warner, a little bit quieter. But man, she's a trailing son of a gun. But that stuff that, when he was talking about that adrenaline stuff with lions, that makes complete sense.
Brett Vaughn said he watched a lion literally go scoop down, do something, and leave. He watched this lion do it. When his dog got to that spot, they couldn't trail it.
So I had a guy glass up a lion 5 minutes behind my dog kennels 2 years ago. And I show up within 10 minutes. By the time I got dogs loaded and over there, I was there on the track in 10 minutes. And I'm thinking they're going to blow this thing out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
They know something's there, but they're not saying a word. They're shaking their butts at it, and that's it. Start doing circles. I find a doe covered up. She ain't eating on nothing. Just covered up. That's it.
Hmm.
And the guy's watching me glassing, and he's watching me on the ridge glassing, and it's in the thick scrub oaks type of stuff.
Yeah.
He glassed that line walking in front of the dogs 100 yards.
And they just didn't want to trail it like it was 100 yards.
Yeah, in front of him.
It's crazy. You know, and it makes you think, it makes you wonder how many times you've been that close to a lion and tell your dog, you're like, let's go, and pull them off.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not fast enough and it's getting dark, or
yeah,
you know, and that's when you need that fast little dumb dog that blows past everybody and bump that line and get crazy and drag everybody to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
To cast out. I like them. I like to have one or two dogs. Who said it? You like to see a pack of dogs trail like a group of bumblebees. That makes sense. Now, I like that. I really do like that. But now you just get it's usually a younger dog, about 1.5, 2, 3-year-old dog that starts casting out wide.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually the younger dog, and every now and then they'll pull a lion out of their butt doing that.
No,
when
that's
we're cold
fat.
trailing.
Well, how many times I tell a deer hunter, a lot of deer hunter, I've never seen a lion. I said, you been out deer hunting? Oh, deer hunting my whole life out in the desert. And I said, well, you probably been within 30 yards of a lion more than once, you know? And if you're just, even if you're on a mule doing a circle and your circle's like this and that lion's right here, and that wind's blowing just right and they don't get a whiff of it, you could be 20 yards from a lion. And them dogs ain't going to pick it up.
Nope, it don't matter.
You know? And my guy who got me started in dogs, he said, if you ever rig and you see nothing but deer tracks, he told me, he says, go check those tracks because that lion may be 30 yards up there trailing those deer and they might have just got a whiff of them.
You know, and like he says, when you're doing a jumped lion, when you jump them out of a tree, I've jumped lions out of trees and watched them run off, cut the young dogs loose. And it takes the dogs 15 minutes to locate him. That lion only went 400 yards and climbed a tree. And it takes the dogs 15 minutes of running around to figure out what tree he's in.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't make sense. You think your dogs are worthless.
Well, that's what I'm saying. How many dogs have been cold? How many times have you pulled off when you was only 20 yards from a lion? Because they were just acting like they weren't doing nothing.
Yep.
Well, go catch some lions.
Yeah, I need to. You need to get down here so I can have something to ride.
I do. Pick up my dog.
Yeah.
I have text messages.
I know.
When you call them cops, I'm like, no, look, he gave that dog to me.
He gave them to me.
I do need to get down there, especially this time of year. I got 2 mules.
Yeah, I got a saddle.
There you go.
I actually bought that saddle from one of Jarrod's buddies out in Payson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
he's got a... Are you looking for a mule?
Not right now, just because I'm busy. Yeah. I don't have time for it, but to actually do it right. And I still got to go to Nevada and get my trailer.
Well, someone posted and I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh,
anyway, that's how old I get. I just forget stuff.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out who that was. Riley Sandin. Well, go get it. This road trip. Go do some hunting back there.
I know I need to. They've been, well, the snow flew up there. So all the heroes are out right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I haven't looked. Has any units closed in Arizona? I figured they might here.
This snowstorm, I'm pretty sure the Kaibab's going to close.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And I'm surprised they don't do a female harvest up there. In my area, I just read and it says a female harvest.
Oh, really?
I think that, yeah. And it's only one. So, and every one I chase right here is a female. The females are right here. There's some males, but I think the males travel real big. Between the Gila Bend here, Casa Grande, down on the reservation. Yeah, killing the heck out of them bighorn sheep and those Sonoran pronghorn.
Bighorn. Those bighorn sheep are born looking for a place to die.
Oh yeah, everything wants to. They get a domestic goat gets in their herd and they all die.
Yes, true. Well,
them scurvies or
when I hunted lions in sheep country in Nevada, we could use trail cameras, in the summertime until the 1st of August.
It's my fan. I got another fan.
That's right. Gaining people.
Yep.
And I had a lion taking down a sheep on trail camera off a big game guzzler.
Huh. Yeah.
And we went in the next day with the dogs, caught the lion. The lion went 300 yards off that kill and treed. And I got young puppies barking. Hey,
that's all right. We can barely hear him.
And
it's a houndsman show. They're gonna
that's
hear him.
right. But that lion killed that sheep, drug it underneath the apron of that guzzler, was eating on it. Sheep were back at that guzzler a half hour later, another herd of 30 or 40 with a dead one, blood, drag marks, guts, everything.
They're stupid. Goats are stupid.
Dumber than heck.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Yep. Those sheep are just I swear to God, if it was raining, they could drown themselves.
Yeah. You know, it's like when they ran those buffalo off the cliffs. I'm pretty sure them sheep were following with them.
Yep, exactly.
Look at them boys jumping. Let's go. So.
Yep, exactly.
Well, heck, let's go do some hunting. Riley,
let me know when you're coming down.
Thanks for watching, Riley. I'm glad you're around. We're about the funniest sons of the guns you'll ever know. Just ask us. We'll tell you.
Yep.
All righty there, Jarrod. I'm gonna jump off.
Yeah. All right. I'll talk to you later.
I'm down in South Arizona, and I got my 2 5-year-old twin girls with me this week. So.
Oh boy.
I gotta go play dress up or something.
Yep.
Thanks, sir, for jumping on.
Yep. Talk to you later.
All righty.
See ya.
Yep.